Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 16, episode 5, and today we're back for a Manchester double over Christmas. The title race is hotting up in the Premier League, and we're just about on the fringes of it despite a little poor run of form. We're in 4th place currently, 4 points behind leaders Manchester City, who we face first today, before on New Year's Day we face Manchester United, who are on the same points as us, but with a game in hand and the best goal difference in the league. So probably, alongside Chelsea, the 3 teams that will run away with it. Maybe Liverpool can catch them, we'll wait and see. But as it stands, this is going to be a test for us. If we lose both of these, we're back competing for 5th or 6th like we were every other year. And if not, we're going to be up in the top 4 race, and that's what we're hoping to achieve. If we can break that duck, if we can get to the Champions League, that would be incredible. Or of course the Europa League would be a step forward this year, maybe if we can secure 5th. But then Brighton only 6 points behind us, it is getting tight. We've got a lot to ponder, but we've got 2 big games to play first. We've sailed through in the Europa League too. We've got a Carabao Cup semi coming against Liverpool, the second leg of which will be the next episode. And we've got the January transfer window opening after our second game. There is so much to be excited about here. Who would have thought we'd be in this position? So if you are looking forward to this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. A massive thank you for supporting another season. You can catch up from the start of it in the eye above, including meeting our new £88 million man who is the best rated player at the club this year. And of course, subscribe down below to stay up to date with all of the content on the channel, as live streams will return tomorrow following last week's absence. I do apologise, and all will become clear tomorrow in that one. But let's crack on with the first game today. There's 2 big ones, so we need to make sure we're in tip-top shape. Michael Oliver's the man in the middle. Our first 11 are here, and we've gone for McLaughlin over Boyce. We'd threatened with it for a little while, and now we've gone for it. So we've got Afonso in goal, Pollock and Mazzino the fullbacks with Semedo and Mertens at centre-half, Balters and Morale in central midfield, Lima and Balic on the wings, and then Peter McLaughlin behind Coppens up front. A good 11, but probably not as good as City's. We've got some game changers on the bench, Council, White and Davey in particular. Boyce has obviously been first choice most of this year. Nunes no longer unhappy, he had a run in the team when Morale was injured. And Yonton and McCrory defensive options. So let's get into it. Our first of 2 games. Can we beat the leaders and get back in the title race? 4-4-2 for Manchester City then. Louise in central midfield, a very good player. We've got Gibson up front. I mean, there's quality all over here. It's a very good Manchester City side. We can see why they're top. We've of course got a youth intake preview to show you quickly between the 2 games as well. So lots of action off the pitch too. And another couple of little glitches which may put a dent in some of our ambitions. They've got wonder kids all over. How do we deal with them? My guess is as good as the media's. But into the first half we go. Let's see how long we can hold them off for. Early on, Mazzino picks it up at left back with a big punt downfield, but Florentino Luis saves the day there and finds Nogueira. In central defence, goes wide to the left-hand side. Pavetti picks it up on the wing, absolutely skins Kieran Pollock and forces a shot just over the bar. I think Gabriel Afonso had it covered, but early on, City causing a threat. It's an in-swinging corner for Balic now though. A chance to get back, headed away, only for Lima. Hit it on the volley. It was so sweetly struck from 20 yards, but just off target, and unfortunately, it remains 0-0. But we have had the better of the chances so far, according to the match stats, although perhaps not seeing them on camera suggests they weren't the best chances in the world. It's a free kick on the left, over half an hour in now, as Balic delivers, it's headed away, and this is where City are so dangerous, although they've brought everyone back for that free kick. They didn't do it from the corner, but they have this time. So Balic picks it up again, out to Lima on the right, Taylor nicks it off him, it's a little bit sluggish to be honest. Ryan Lima just dropping into one of those little spells again where he's not quite as good. And as a result, we've struggled a little bit. As Pavetti picks it up, goes all the way, Afonso saves the first 2, but the third one is in. Robbie Milne does the job, and it is Manchester City who are 1-0 up, and the leaders are extending that gap to us. Coppens picks it up with the centre kick and goes back to Morale. You may be wondering why I didn't show you the form pre-match. There are 2 good reasons for that. One, I forgot, and secondly, is we've not been in great form, so the fact we're 4th is still a miracle. And after these 2 games, it could be a fun run I'm showing you. So Morale picks it up, he switches the play to the right, and Taylor loses out in the air. It falls for Pavetti. Nogueira clears down wide. Pollock gets there though, and now we've got a chance to put pressure on. Into Morale. Switch of play to Balic. Flicks it in. Coppens scores, but he's offside. I could see it straight away. No flag because of VAR, but Coppens was definitely off. And the flag is up to reflect that. Still Dorking 0, City 1. We've probably been just the better side though. There we go then. We trail 1-0 at half time. Manchester City lead, and we're going to ask the boys to prove a point. The defence look motivated. The attack, I'm a little worried. Coppen's not in great form. Lima not the best. I mean, Coppens has been scoring goals. He's never played well, which has been a bit of a worry this year. Morgan Morale struggled on his return from injury. And Manchester City have another corner as Gibson floats it in. It's cleared away as far as Pavetti. Back out to Gibson again. On the right, delivers to Semedo. Blocked out and Rivera volleys in. Afonso beaten at his near post, but I don't think he could do much about that. And with an hour gone, we will make those changes. Lima replaced by Council. Morale replaced by Nunes, or by Boyce. Maybe by Boyce, I think. And then up front, Coppens replaced by Ewan Davey. Let's get back into it. We're 28 minutes remaining. And just hope we can limit the damage now. We're back down to 5th. And that's probably the limit of our ambitions this season, particularly given the last 4 or 5 results. Well, we're into stoppage time, and Manchester City's embarrassment of riches continues. They bring Reece Baird off the bench, the Aberdeen Scottish striker that we tried to sign a million times. Unfortunately, Man City got him in the end. So I'll say we're not happy with the performance. It is a 2-0 defeat for us here with Dorking. And now the Man United game becomes paramount. If we don't get a result there, we can kiss goodbye to any chance of the top 4. So the Europa League, it might be requiring to win the Europa League 2 to get there. We'll deal with the press conference off camera. Let me very quickly show you the results recently and also the youth intake preview so you can see just how bad things have got and why we've been slipping down the league. And you can see we've just turned to a sea of red. I mean, from being unbeaten since the Newcastle game, the first League One of the season, we went to December without losing. You were with me, of course, last time as we played Chelsea and Burnley, and things continued well. We beat Genk 6-0 in the Europa League 2, 6 different scorers, including a couple of young stars, a 4-0 league win at Swansea, you and Davey getting a brace, Brentford away was a 0-0 draw, a bit disappointing but not really a disaster. 5-1 at home to Spartak Moscow, Solly got his second for the club, you and Davey got a hat-trick and Ibai Nunes in form, and then a 4-1 win at Reading. That looked really good for us because they were a mid-table side who were pushing towards those Europa League places. Unfortunately, Morgan Morale got his injury, which is where the problems came in the next few weeks. But he did get a goal, so did Balic get a brace, and Zach Council got a late one as well. But then came the run of defeats. We played 7th place Brighton from last year. We lost 1-0 late on. We played Everton, who was 6th at the time, lost 1-0. We beat TNS 2-0 in the group stages of the Europa League 2. Lionel Messi's guided them through in 2nd place. Zach Council and an own goal. We lost 2-0 at Arsenal, who are of course one of our closest rivals there. A comfortable win for the Gunners. A 0-0 draw against Birmingham, but a victory in the Carabao Cup. Balic, Lima and Boyce with the winning penalty. Just about snuck through after a poor performance. A crucial 1-0 win at home to Derby in the league. Jeff Coppens got that one. And then a 2-0 defeat at home to City, which we just saw there. So with United to come next, Liverpool in the Cup. Next month we play Tottenham away and Liverpool away and Manchester United away in the league before a return cup tie against Liverpool. I just worry it can all go wrong. And then look at February. We've got Chelsea and City. We've got Arsenal at the start of March. And our real good run doesn't come until the last 7 games. So yes, we may get back into contention, but by then we might have a bit too much to do. So it is crucial we pick up a few results during this period and hopefully we can return to form soon. I mean, we're on 35 points. There's no threat of us dropping down into a relegation battle or even the bottom half. But there is a risk we don't stay in the European places. So at that point, perhaps we focus on the Europa League too. Because we skip to the second knockout round for winning our group. And we'll wait and see who we get there. That'll be the last 16. And at that point, we have to desperately hope we can get a victory. But if we go and have a look at the youth intake preview as well, something else to be very excited about. This is a good group of players coming through. We've got a head of youth development who's only been with us here for a year or 2 now. He's produced good results so far. He's an excellent coach and an exceptional judge of potential. We've got 2 centre-backs that look promising. We've got a top prospect in central midfield and a central defender there from Trowbridge who's caught the eye. We don't have lots of players coming through. We don't have good wide players coming through. But I think centre-half and centre midfield, we could have 1 or 2 more. And that's all we can really ask for, is stars coming through the academy. So fingers crossed that'll all pay off. We could do with a 4th centre-half anyway, as Jack Walker has now officially left the club. Didn't make it to the end of the last episode. Went over to Saudi Arabia for a payday. He's getting over 50 grand a week in fairness. A brilliant servant, still our record league appearance maker. And we wish him all the best in the future. But we need a 4th centre-half in January, so we'll be on the lookout for that. But let's skip ahead to the United game. It will be back on the 1st of January. And then after this episode, it's going to be a long old transfer window, which we'll reflect on deadline day, when we're back for the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. But before all that, we'll be back in a minute for United. We're back for our second game after nearly a week's break. And it's been an interesting day because the transfer window has opened. We've already had 2 pretty derisory offers for Ilya Balic. We've already had an offer for one of our best under-18s in Chris Glover, who will become unsettled if he's not allowed to speak to West Ham. And more surprisingly, Lewis Hone, our Director of Football, has made nearly a £30 million bid for Matthew Reid, a left winger from Manchester United, who's a Scottish international, who looks a very good player actually. It looks better than the left wingers we've got. So that's going to be interesting. We've also been linked in scout reports with a couple of other really good players. So we're going to do some scouting. We'll probably have to delay offers and accepting contracts. But we will be doing a bit of business this January by the looks of it. The 2 main targets still remain NSYNC from Brighton and Mitchell Baker from Arsenal. I'm not sure that we'll get either of them in this window. But let's get ahead to the United game first. Morgan Morale is fit. Everyone else should be fine as well because we've had nearly a week's break. So let's just go and get into it. Everton won again in 7th. They're starting to close that gap as well. And with a game in hand, Tottenham can get a bit closer today too. So there are a few concerns there. But we're heavy underdogs as you'd expect against United. Semedo suspended due to a booking ban. He's had 5 yellows already. And Roger Solly's going to have to come in. He's the only option we've really got there. So I think in terms of the squad, that's the only change we're going to make. McLaughlin didn't play well last time. It was okay. So I'd be tempted to bring Boyce back in. But I don't think we need to do that at the moment. So I'm going to stick with the same 11 with the exception of Solly in for Semedo, which of course does heavily weaken us. But aside from that, it's the same team and the same squad. So let's go and get into it. It's Dorking v Manchester United. Can we at least get a point to stop the rot? It's 4-2-3-1 for the visitors. They've matched us up this time. They've got Jones up front, Delamere and Franchini in the middle, Celadon on the left, Francois on the right. I mean, there's so many players there that were involved in that 9-0 defeat that still scars me. So let's go and ask the lads to do what they can. We'll encourage them a little. And hopefully, as we ignore all questions about the transfer window, we can do a little bit better in this one. It's Dorking v Manchester United. Fingers crossed, everyone. Well, it didn't take long. Just 5 minutes and United are on the front foot. They've got a free kick as they build out from the back. And our pressure not really working thus far. Vonk gets it wide to Francois. Knocks it on for Delamere. He's got time on the right and he's got a double man in support with him. Francois inside to the central midfield. Franchini picks it up. He's got time on the ball and finds Francois again. Lovely switch to Arnau. Brilliant football and he's cut inside easily and he's shot really easily as well. Afonso saves. He's done well there, the keeper. But Manchester United, 4 shots already and completely dominant in this first half. This is something we've got to be very concerned about. So we're going to demand more. I think we're going to have to drop the fullbacks' duties because they're really struggling to defend. And hopefully we can get a little bit of a foothold in this match, if nothing else. But as I say that, United are on the front foot again. We've seen them off for 23 minutes, just over a quarter of the game. As Van Petter gets it into Francois. The right winger shoots, blocked by Mazzino. Oh, that was a thunderous tackle. Mertens went in 2-footed lunging. Got away with it, but then Francois puts the rebound in. So Manchester United lead. Dorking Wanderers still struggling. And this run of games, as horrific as it's been, has really showed that we're not ready to compete at the top yet. 5th is the limit of our ambitions, and Brighton and Tottenham are going to make that difficult. Dorking 0, Manchester United 1. And with 5 minutes to half time, the home side have been absolutely outplayed. Franchini gets it in again. Francois loses in the air. Falls for Pollock, McLaughlin, Lima. Can we get a counter on? Ryan Lima forward. It's just passed it to no one. What on earth's happened to his form again? We might have to go more positive, you know. Try and get on the ball. Manchester United are probably still on paper the best side in the league. But I don't know what we do about them. As Francois runs through again, puts it over the bar, and it remains 1-0. But we are being outclassed. It is too easy. And McLaughlin gets it on the right-hand side to Lima. Beats his man, but he's going to lose possession again. Ryan Lima has been an absolute disaster the last couple of months. And he goes back to Ngong, the keeper. Into Vonk. The central defender plays out again, has so much time on the ball and looks really comfortable in possession. To Emilio on the left. To the byline. Back to Celadon. To Emilio again, overlapping. In towards Solly, who heads away. Celadon gets there. Back to Franchini. And it hits the bar. But Jones on the rebound. No one reacted. The centre-half Solly didn't move. The goalkeeper Afonso took an age to get up. And by the way, his attributes now, one of the best keepers in the world. Was that 16 agility? I'm not so sure. But either way, United 2-0 up. And this risks becoming one of those embarrassing 9-0s again. It really looks like that type of performance. As United play forward again to Jones, Celadon on the left. And I am really concerned about this. Really concerned as Van Petter's through again. Good challenge by Solly. Lima gets it out to McLaughlin. Can we have a bit of fight? Can we have a chance? Can we have a shot on target? Lima picks it up. It's got an overlap from Pollock. That's better. Pollock to the byline. Back to Lima. Into the box. Delivers to McLaughlin. And his shot's blocked by the sliding challenge. Out for a corner kick. And it's going to be 2-0 at half time unless we do something silly from this corner. Here's Morale to deliver it. Had a decent game on the ball, but not really been able to create much, as Balters goes back to him again. Morale to Balters, brought down by Jones. Naughty tackle, but it's just a free kick. And with it is the half-time whistle. Francois and Jones the difference. Manchester United utterly dominant. And we're 2-0 down, and it could be far, far worse. So we're going to have to be a bit more tactically astute now. Morale will still be a deep line playmaker, but we'll put him on defend. Balic will drop to a support duty, because he's an inside forward. And Lima, I'm just going to replace because he's been that bad. Zach Council on for him. He can be a winger on support. And we'll just try and keep the shape and provide damage limitation in this half. Because we're going to desperately need to get form back. We've got a championship side in the FA Cup. Or a lower Premier League side in Southampton, sorry. We've got the Carabao Cup against Liverpool where we need form. And then another horrible run in the Premier League. So we can't afford to lose this 6 or 7. As Jones gets the ball down the right to Francois, we might not get a say in this the way United are playing. He delivers it in to the back post. 3-0 via Emilio. It's so easy. McLaughlin's going to be replaced. And do you know what? I'm not even going to try and make anything of it. I'm going to bring on Jonton and go to a holding midfielder. We have to have some sort of defensive solidity. Defensive midfielder on defend. Sit there, stop the attacks. Get on the ball. I mean, we're doing absolutely nothing. We're not even keeping possession. We're offering nothing, really. And Manchester United lead 3-0. And it's turning into one of them rare horror shows for us. Just past the hour mark. No further damage yet, but here are United on the front foot. Celadon delivers. Good catch, Afonso. Now let's get something out of this. Afonso's got a chance to get it forward. Will he find his own man? That would be the most preferable option. He clears long downfield. Balic is going to challenge, but doesn't get there. We are second to every challenge today. Francois back to Arnell. Delamar, Arnell, it's so easy, they're playing round us. To be honest, it looks like an FA Cup game against the National League side, as Balters picks it up for Council. Now that's probably unfair on National League sides, although where has that come from? What a goal. Balters to Council. Council beats it with an inside run. It's a brilliant ball inside the fullback, and Coppens puts it in beautifully. 3-1, and there's a bit of hope. So Balic off, Aaron White on. We're going to stay defensive, but what we are going to do out wide is put the wingers on attack again. Morgan Morale to support because we've got those players back in. And now, let's try and make a bit of a fist of it. As Balters picks it up to the left back Mazzino. Maybe that's just the boost we needed. As Balic gets it. If we can get Coppens on a goal scoring run, that would certainly help. Although we've lost out in that long ball and Francois finds Van Petter. And it's United back on the front foot. Over the top to Jones, that's too easy. That is so easy. One ball over the centre half. Merton's the man who's beaten. And Semedo coming out of the team has made such a difference defensively. Even when we were losing those other games, it was 1-0, it was 2-0, it was 2-1. And this one is 4-1 and it's been tragic defensively. Here's Delamar again. Blocked by the winger. It falls for Van Petter on the left though. And that is just compounding the misery. What on earth are you doing? Kieran Pollock flies in from about 10 yards away. The worst two-footed lunge you'll see. Again, never shown a sign of it at the club. What a ridiculous thing to do. I don't even know where to go from here. Jonton to right back. Can he even play there? I don't know. Can play right wing back. Council. Can't play there at all. Oh, I don't know what to suggest. Why are we playing on? Why on earth is it playing on off the pitch? We're going to bring Jonton up to right back. Because I haven't got any other options. Haven't got any other subs. And we'll just see if we can keep the score down. We've dropped Morale and the wingers back to defensive duties now. We're trying to keep them as calm and tight as possible because we need to keep confidence up and we can't lose this by many more. As Francois gets it on the right to Jones. No real pressure. Back to Bastin. Good save, Afonso. Tips it onto the post and Solly hacks it out for a throw. For Roger Solly, after a good campaign in the Europa League 2, this is a real rude awakening in the Premier League and it shows why we need another experienced centre-half. It's 4-1 to Manchester United. We've now lost Pollock for the FA Cup game. He'll be banned for 2 more. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Jeff Coppens ends a goal drought. Ryan Lima continues his poor form. And Dorking Wanderers in a spot of bother in the Premier League. We're down to 5th place. We're getting closing the gap below us. Brighton just 3 points behind. They won at Wolves today. Arsenal within 7 now. They're back in form, flying up the table. And fingers crossed Tottenham will keep losing to close that gap as well. But I don't know what to say. It's all falling apart a bit here. Potter says they were the better side. They very much were. We're going to fine a week's wages for Pollock because he was terrible. And that tackle very much deserved a fine. And we'll deal with a press conference off camera. But we've got a lot of work to do this January. We've got an awful run of games coming up. We've got some work to do in the transfer window. And we've got a Carabao Cup semi-final, which could be the saving grace for us yet. If we can win the Carabao Cup or the Europa League 2, European football is secured. So fingers crossed we can do that. The Europa League 2 doesn't resume till March for us, as we're through to the second knockout round via winning our group with maximum points. However, the Carabao Cup semi-final culminates on transfer deadline day. So that is when we'll be back for the second leg against Liverpool. I can only hope after our trip to Anfield we're still in the tie. That's my only hope for it. If we've got a chance, we've succeeded. But if you did enjoy this episode and that pure disappointment on the pitch, please do put a thumbs up on the video. There are positives off it, as we've mentioned: potential transfer business, a good youth intake preview. Unfortunately, a few little glitches we'll talk about with the facilities, where the date for planning completion just keeps being pushed back, and I'm worried it will never happen. So I think we might be stuck a bit there. So the quicker we can get Dorking to the top, the better, because I think we've got a window of opportunity that may be going once this squad's gone. But we need 1 or 2 more additions, and hopefully they'll be forthcoming in the near future. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on down below. Thank you to everyone who checked out the brand new series with Macclesfield Town yesterday lunchtime. That will continue every weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 1 PM. I really have appreciated it, so please do go and check it out if you haven't already, and put a big thumbs up on the new series. I really do appreciate your support. We'll be back live streaming tomorrow as always, and the head coach will be starting a new season with a big new club. It's been an interesting week in that one, to say the least. I'm really loving making the content at the moment, despite a bit of illness and a few injuries last week. We'll reflect on that in tomorrow's live stream. But a big thanks for your support as always, and your continued views on these videos. They do make such a big difference. And I hope to see you next time for a big episode with Dorking, for transfer deadline day and the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final.